Hi guys, Ronda Winstead here with you. Okay, I have been collaging, working on something, and I thought, you know what? I will turn on the video and let my friends kind of see what I'm doing. I did for an MWN midweek mystery video. I did stripping, working with these strips and creating collages, remember? Well, I still had materials out, and what I did was I pulled these out to approximately the same length if I were putting the strips in with a sheet of paper, you know, back to back, the two. You can reference the first video on that. But this is what I did on these. So they are still in the strips, but I took them over to my ink dyeing station in my studio, and I spritzed them with the coffee, and then I also spritzed, I did two with a pink dye and then, or ink, and two with a blue. And so these are cool. And then what I did, as per the first video, I scrunched them up so that it gives all this wonderful texture. And then ironed them. And then, so you can see, this is a pretty long strip now, a big piece to work with. So I have been just adding, so I did a little bit of stamping. What I did was put a little bit of tape underneath the bottom to just sort of hold it down, stick it down just a little bit. And did a little bit of stamping like I showed you, on the last video. And then I started to glue little bits of random scrap papers. And I had just torn a bunch up, just had them in little piles, and I started to glue them on. And like, for instance, here we go. Here's a random scrap, and actually this is left over from one of the strips that I had done. It's got this cool little butterfly, and I just started putting them down. And some of them I crossed over to the next strip, and as you can see, eventually it starts to hold pretty well, so that it's much easier for me and I don't have to fuss with the little gaps and that kind of thing. So let's this is stripping too. We're still stripping, my friends. Not literally, but we are working on strips. And just kind of, having fun with laying them down wherever they will fit, wherever it appears that there needs to be a little something. And so I thought, well, gosh, you're doing this rather than doing up a prototype is really what I was thinking that I would do, is let them join the process. If I could talk, I would say. My thought process was, let them join in this part too. Even though it's kind of weird and funky and it's hard to, tie down. I can't show you everything all at one time. It's still, just do it. So that's what I'm doing. And you can see that some I have, this is awkward, but I have taken off the edges, and of course those will be trimmed up when we're all done. So I am putting on papers like book pages. I may put some music paper down and just some more collaging so that less of the actual papers that I started with are showing. I still want them to show, but in little bits and pieces. And then we're going to cut them all apart when I'm done. Does that make sense? I hope so. So how are you doing, my friends? I have a little serious update. This has nothing to do with me. This is my sister. I was just informed last night, and then this morning I was updated. You can't see that. Let's bring that. She has COVID, and she's in the hospital, and she has a difficult health condition that when she loses oxygen, it affects her mental capacity. She gets very confused, and so she kept pulling out her oxygen. So it was a bad day for her. And then I got informed this morning that they're making plans because she does not want to be put on a ventilator. And if her oxygen drops anymore, that's their only option, because she's on 100% oxygen now. So we have been praying for her, and my thoughts and well wishes. And I called the hospital where she's at, and she was able to talk to me for a short period of time before her coughing got so bad that she couldn't. Her daughter, one of her daughters, lives in the close by, and she's been there in the hospital, able to be by her. She's, of course, everybody's masked up and she can't touch her or anything like that, but she can be in the room with her. And so there may be a possibility, I don't know if it's the Lord's will that she get well, then she absolutely will. I know that. I know she's had poor health for many, many, many years. And it would probably be a blessing if she could go home where other family is. But I don't want her to go. But that's selfish, of course, on my part. And so I'm just letting you know ahead of time, my friends, if I am called to go, then there will be a period of time that I won't be doing videos until I were to get back home. So I just wanted to let you know. And it isn't a sad thing for her, in that, her health has been so poor for so long. And so, anyway, and she may recover, and that actually might disappoint her, but anyway, enough about that. But I just wanted to give you a heads up, because I don't have I don't have a ton of videos ahead, so they're would be a bit of a lull, but whatever happens, I will, if something happens that way, then I absolutely will be back. And, you know, I'll have myself more than one good cry and then get back to, you know, get back to living. And unfortunately, death is a part of our life cycle, and it's just not something that we want to talk about. Myself as well. Obviously, I've come to grips with my own mortality much more since I found out about the cancer. So anyway, okay, enough of that. So I've got some different papers going on here. I don't have any music papers yet. I think what I want to do is I'm going to get this little stamp out, and I'm kind of stamping in layers a little bit on this particular one because I'm trying things just a little bit differently. The other one, I just prepared the stamping and the paper so that when you make your individual collages, you know, you add your papers that way and can do them, you know, however you want. But this one, I wanted to create layers. So you've got your regular stamping, but then you've also got your papers on top, and you have stamped on those as well. So you've got a little more texture going on. Does that make sense? So this is, I'm just kind of concentrating where I've added the papers. Now we'll just sort of slide this down for you guys. And I did also, when I started this one, I also added some white splatters, some gesso, and I also added some gold. Only this time I didn't use the eyedropper and blob it on. That was so terrible. Yeah. So this time I am just doing it a bit differently. We're preparing the papers more advanced so that when I'm using these, basically all I need to do is to grab, let's see, let me get this out over here. And see, you can see kind of the difference. Just even having this on top, you know, it just makes it more interesting. We're adding layers as we're doing this. And then I'll glue some more papers on, and I will likely stamp again. This is just this is one of those projects to do when you don't mind thinking, but you don't want to be like, oh, I've got to think, you know, working your brain too much. You just want to think a little bit. And you want to have mostly you just want to play. And so this is one of those where it's like, okay, I see a spot. I can stamp it. I can slap that down right there. You know, just like that. So that's what we're doing here. And then we shall, I think we'll do music paper next. Okay, that's pretty good. So let's set this off to the side for a moment. And let me grab, let's see, from my very, oh, I got way too much music paper going on. Let's see. And it looks like I've got so much stuff here, you guys, that it's hard to see the details of my stuff. You ever do that? Where your stuff is just multiplying. Well, there's a tiny little bit right there. I can't seem to locate. Oh, there's a couple. All right, there's that. Here's that. Here's that. It was all sitting together. And there's that. That should, let's work with that and see where that gets us. I don't, really have a rhyme or reason with all of this. I'm gonna set my little glue book there. We'll rip around this. You can use a tear ruler, you can use your finger to tear, you can cut if you want the line straight. That's perfectly fine too. For me, I think we'll just do it this way. Yeah. Okay. So I don't want to do huge pieces. I just want something that is going to work nicely. Here again, let's go ahead and we'll tear around this. Since I've started with the torn pages, we'll keep doing it that way, I think. So, alrighty. We'll just rip those. And we've got one more. So, keep those little pieces. They will come in handy. Now, I do throw things like this away sometimes. I've got so many that I'm doing that currently until I get to a point where, I perhaps need more. Okay. So we'll just... Okay. So, and that's how I've been doing all these other papers and things that I've been putting on. And I stamped on some other papers. And I have, for instance, let's see, let me grab these down here just to show you what I had been working on as well. On some of my scrap papers. And this is piano paper. The piano rolls, extra papers that, I don't throw away. But the vintage, and I've just been putting stamps on, and then I tore around all of the edges. And so when I have this done, and I want to rip a section off, then I have these to set on, as a focal point. So that's another fun thing to do. And I've got just little piles of those. I've got those. I have these flower bouquets in the jar. I just love this stamp. I think that is so cute. And then I also have, there's some more of the flowers. And then I also thought these would be fun, these keys, to put on there as well. So that's how I've been working this whole thing. So now let's just go ahead and you can chat with me. I can chat with you. I wonder if it'll ever get to the point where, you really can visit through some form. I mean, cell phones were never supposed to be a possibility, right? And now, I mean, we all live with cell phones. So who knows? Who knows what the future may bring? And I will also tell you, my friends, if you want to chat with me, just post, leave a comment. I read every comment. And like I've mentioned before, my channel is not so big at this point where I literally cannot respond, to you. There may come a time when it is, but that is not today. And I'm happy to visit with you. And it really does. It's how I get to know you. And I see your name there regularly, and it just, I just feel so much gratitude for you and love you guys. And just, it's a big part of my most everyday anymore. And this, I'm just gluing off camera since this is so, so big. And I suppose we could do it this way. We could kind of move that on a little bit so you could get a little better idea of what I'm doing here. And as you can see, I'm just putting it in spaces, just kind of poking it wherever. Not poking, but you get the idea. Just line it down wherever. And I suppose I could pay more attention to which side I want to use. I haven't really been doing a whole lot of that. But my object is to cover up the color and yet make it blend in as well, if possible. So, and I'll do, I don't know what will be my next layer, probably not too much more, because I will want to have, when I put a focal point, I will also want to be able to put like a bit of a piece of fabric or a bit of lace behind the image. And so I don't need to cover everything up. And these, I'm trying to decide if I want to stitch these. Do some, while it's all together, do some random kind of stitching. That might be fun too. So, if I do that, okay. So I put them, I switch them around. I do one way and then another one a little further apart and have it show the other way, just to keep them all mixed up. With collage, that's kind of a good thing to keep them mixed up like that. Okay, wait, this is getting too sticky. So we will go ahead and set that aside. And then we've got a few more. We'll go ahead and put these down. Oh, and it looks like I have one more of this as well. So I'll go ahead, glue that down. This would be a fun project for you to use up a lot of those scraps. Well, I say a lot, but the reality is, scraps, they just keep building. Almost any project that we participate in creates more scraps. So, there's that. There's that thought. And I've got just a few more minutes here, and then we have to go pick up our granddaughter from school. They are requiring masks. They have a mask mandate now back at the school, although she was wearing a mask the whole time. She just was more comfortable with it, and so it won't be difficult for her to follow that mandate. And of course, it just seems like different rules for everybody. And my thought is just stay safe. Wherever you live, just be safe. And just know you're cared for. For new subbies, if you are new, welcome to my channel. And if you want to, I would consider it an honor to have you subscribe to my channel and to like the video. That would be fun. Yeah. So, as I'm kind of quiet here, as I'm just sort of looking it all over, trying to decide how, where, have just these few more pieces, and I'm determined to use them. Because if I don't, they just go back in that little scrap bin, and then I've created more scraps. So, yeah, there's that. So you can see that I only had just a few little scraps that I tore up, but it worked out just great. Boom. I don't know. This is just random fun stuff that we just don't have to think too much about. And that is the last one of the music. So let's go ahead and one more spot. Where is he that I close my eyes to see? Oh, I lied. I lied, you guys. Don't let me lie. Hold me to task. But be gentle. Be gentle. Okay. One more here. So, buttons on your shirt. Where to do? Yeah, okay. Right here. Right there. Okay, now you can see what we've got here. Let's see. Let me give a think here. What's going to be the next step? Oh, you know, I think I'm going to add some more little butterflies. It's going to be one thing. Where is my little butterfly stamp? Stamp, stamp, stamp. Butterfly, butterfly. I'll be right back. I am just looking in here. There we go. Just pull out our little butterfly. And we'll get my ink. Let's see. Isn't that fun? So we will just So I'm going to do some more stamping. I'm going to fill in this with butterflies, and I may do another stamp or two filling in. And so I'm going to turn the camera off and do that, and then we shall return. Okay, I am back. I have stamped everything. I have also added the little dot stamp. And I think this is a good coverage for the base layer for clusters or strips or belly bands or whatever it is that you are thinking you might want to do. Now I'm going to turn it over so that I can easily see the lines to do my cutting. Now, there's a couple of ways that you can go. Number one, you can just use your scissors and cut. Another way is use a rotary cutter, which I do like to use, and cut. Today, what I am going to do is I'm going to use my scallop rotary blade. And let me get, I hope you can see this okay. So what I'm going to do is just maybe 1/8 of an inch in, I am going to use this rotary cutter, and we will just continue. Okay. Okay. So there is my first strip. Before we look at it, I'm going to turn it over, and we're going to do the other side the very same, so that it has the same kind of edging. Okay? So we are, and you can use pinking shears, you know, whatever you want to do. Now, I'm not keeping this, but you could if you want to. So, is that great? Look at that. That is so pretty. So pretty. Ooh, I like it. Okay, let's cut the others too. Now I'm pretty excited about that. So here we go again, and I apologize that it's not all in camera, but I just don't have the space to be able to show it perfectly. And on this one, because I have, now I could keep that if I want, but that will be a little bit weaker. So I'm going to go ahead and trim that off. And you could, this is something that it might be a little bit easier on this one to go ahead and keep for, you know, other things. Like I could keep that strip. It's very cool stuff. Okay. And there's another one. Oh, these are so pretty, you guys. Oh my gosh. I love them. I love them. Love them. Okay. Gotta hurry and get these others cut. Let's go ahead and do this. So I've got to leave to go get my granddaughter. Okay. There's another one. 2 more, 3 more cuts. And we will be done. Whoops. That's one thing that I do have to keep this a little more disciplined when I'm using this particular edging with my rotary cutter and mat board, because it's not as easy to use as it is with the straight edge, for obvious reasons. I think that makes some sense. Okay. Oh, is that pretty? Yes, yes, yes. Okay, Oops, I didn't want to do that. It's easier to see on the back side. I don't want to take a chance on that, so we'll just go ahead and continue cutting. Okay. All right. Put that away, put this away. Move these wonderful little strips that we might use. We'll see. We'll set those off to the side. And here we go. Let me just bring it up so you can see. Okay, so I don't know how long this video has gone, but let me do one more thing just to show you how, oh, this is going to be fabulous. And I'll just roll these up like I did these so that they're easier to store and you can have them made ahead of time. Okay, so let's say we have a spot for a journal that we want to use. And I can either tear with my tear ruler, I can cut it straight, I can rip it, I can use my zigzag, whatever I want to do. I don't want the straight stitch. Let's see. Let's just tear it. I think this is going to be our focal point. So let's go ahead. It's just paper, right? So we want to add just a little bit of fabric texture, something of that nature. So I'm just going to get out my cheesecloth. Maybe, where are my scissors, my fabric scissors, my little ones? Woo! Whoa, mess. Okay, so let's just cut a little piece of this off. See how that goes. Super simple. Pull it out a little bit. We'll lay that down like that. We're gonna put this like this. Maybe for this particular one, maybe I want this color. I like this a little bit better. It shows just a little bit better. Okay, so let's go ahead. Glue. 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 Sticky, glue. Stick it down. Crumple it up a little bit. Smush it. All of those technical terms that we like to use sometimes. And I don't want to get this on there, so we'll just do the back here. Oh, I didn't stitch, did I? I was thinking of maybe stitching to add a little more texture. Oh, well, next time. Next time will be fine. Now, what if I did this? What if I did this? Doesn't matter. Yeah. It's pretty flat. You can add a button. You could add a little bow. You could add a little whatever, a little bit of lace. But look at that, how fun that is, how easy that was, because I had basically had all the layering done. And when you look at that, you're like, oh my gosh, look at all this layering that they did. I love it. Love it. Okay, my friends, that is going to be it for this particular video. I hope that was helpful, that you enjoyed that, and I hope that you will give this a try. If you had the adding machine tape, then you're good to go. If you don't, take regular coffee paper, coffee dyed paper, or regular paper, whatever it is that you want. Cut it in the strips, glue 2 strips together to make a nice, this is 11.5 inches times 2. That's how I came up with this length. And that's a nice length to give you to do some preparation on your stripping. Oh, Ronda. Okay, and if you want to get super fancy, you can color in the flowers in the vase. What is it? I don't know. Anyway, all right, I love you guys. Till next video, have a fabulous day. Bye-bye now.